You know, there's a phrase we like to toss around. We call it the American dream. But a dream, by definition, is something that vanishes when you wake up. Unless it's anchored to something you can actually feel in the palm of your hand, it becomes tangible. Now, the men who signed the Declaration of Independence didn't just give us liberty, they gave us a blueprint for keeping it. If you look at the Coinage Act of April 2nd, 1792, you'll see they didn't leave our prosperity to chance. They defined the dollar not as a piece of paper, but as this: tangible metal, silver. They were following the example of the Spanish 8 reals, the pieces of 8, that our forefathers used to bring the first brick and mortar foundation of this republic. They knew then what we are relearning now. A free people must have honest weights and measures. But lately there's a new wind blowing, and it's a cold one. You might have heard about this. Well, let's get into it because the details are a little bit chilling. We're being told that the future is digital, that a cashless society is for our convenience. But when your family's life savings exists only as a flickering light on a computer screen, you don't really own your money. You're just renting access to it. We are facing a world where a central authority can pause your ability to buy a gallon of milk or a box of ammunition so you desire. They can do that basically with the click of a mouse. It is the loss of the American autonomy. When your currency is purely digital, your privacy is purely permission-based. Don't think I'm just making this up, folks. We have a working digital currency in one of the largest nations on earth. Let's see how it's working out for them. China uses its digital currency, they call it ECNY, to restrict freedom by transforming money from a private medium of exchange to a programmable tool for state surveillance and social engineering. By integrating the currency with the social credit system, the government can automate punishments, such as freezing the wallets of activists or limiting the purchasing power of discredited individuals, almost like what we saw recently in Canada. They use real-time transaction data to map social networks and suppress dissent. Many experts believe that is one of the biggest things with AI. It's amazing at crunching analytics, numbers, and can use that to sort people. This system effectively eliminates the financial anonymity, allowing the state to exert absolute control over individual autonomy by dictating where, when, and what a citizen is permitted to spend their resources on. We can look to our own nation. We look at the Silver Purchase Act of 1934, and we see a government that once understood silver was a national treasure, essential to our industrial and economic soul. Yet in 1965, we saw the silver stripped from our quarters and dimes. That's right, folks. All of these quarters are 90% silver. All of the dimes pre-1965, so 1964 and before, were silver, and they were stripped and replaced by the copper-nickel sandwich we have today. We traded the substance for the shadow. Now they want us to trade the shadow for a digital ghost. But there is a way back. There is hope. And it all starts with the monthly stewardship of the individual patriot like yourself. We need to follow the example set by the U.S. Silver Eagle program authorized by the Liberty Coin Act of 1985. Why? Because silver is analog. It doesn't need a Wi-Fi signal to have value. It can't be deleted by a bank's algorithm. Every month, when you take a little piece of your paper promise and exchange it for maybe 1 ounce of American silver or something like this, a 5-ounce silver bar, you're performing, in many ways, a revolutionary act. You're following the constitutional mandate of Article 1, Section 10, which tells us that no state shall make anything but gold and silver coin as tender in payment of debts. You see, when you stack your silver, you aren't just buying metal. You're building a wall of privacy around your kitchen table. You're treating silver as the founders intended, as a moral anchor against the winds of inflation and the prying eyes of a digital age. You're ensuring that when your grandchildren wake up, they don't have to ask permission to be prosperous. It's time to stop trusting the data that politicians use to make money and basically create power and control with, and start trusting the earth beneath our feet. Because when the rest of the story is written, it won't be about who had the most digits. It very well could be about who had this right here. Thank you so much for watching. If you agree, let me know in the comments below. And if you disagree, well, do the same. I love to read every single one of them. And until next time, please remember to stay classy and current with the culture of currency.